So Thorin's thoughts on Vega Squadron, a team that have come through all the way through the qualifiers, through the minor championships and through the offline qualifiers just to reach the major itself. It's a huge achievement for a brand new team, of course, at the start of the year. But, as Thorin said, plenty still to be tested there. And Janko, it is a big test for them, and none more so than the fact that they found themselves at 0-1 and now face Immortals. That's a tough task.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that even the opposition that they faced at the major qualifier, you know, beating the likes of Optic, Tyloo and Dignitas, I mean, both of these teams, especially Virtus.pro and now Immortals, are a couple of levels above that in terms of competition. So I agree with Vega. It's about them having to prove themselves now against the real tough opponents. Obviously, no one expects them to make it into the playoffs, but give us something that we can, you know, hope for in the future. Give us a good result. Show us that you have really improved, that you can take the game to some of these tier 1, tier 2 teams. Otherwise, you just wait for the major to end and you just wait, okay, which team is Mir going to go to, for example, right? Because he is the obvious star of the team.
Yeah, and there is that. We've already spoken about the potential of a big CIS shake-up after the major as well. So I'd imagine all of these players want to perform well here, Robin, regardless of whether they're staying with their team or their team doesn't go forward. They want to make sure they're putting themselves out there.
Yeah, especially when you start the rumor here that we're going to have a CIS.
I did not start this rumor.
Yes, you did.
I did not start this rumor.
That's how I remember
it. Exactly.
I might have started it today.
It's even on social media.
Is it?
Red Eye confirms CIS shuffle.
Yeah. Just what I've heard.
Front page Red.
Can't confirm anything more than
exactly,
that.
But I don't even think so. For European practice, even for North America, right? For the top teams, they always have this this group or a channel where they search games in, and I don't necessarily think that Vega Squadron is even in there, right? So for them to even get to this event to play against these top teams, it's really good practice coming into it, right? You're not expecting them, like Janko was saying, you're not expecting them to make the playoffs. You're probably not even expecting them to win a game, right? But keep it close. The game yesterday with VP, for example, is like, what can you take away from that?
Yeah.
You just got completely demolished.
Yeah, there's nothing they can take out of that really.
Not
They could just put it behind them and show up today and show what they can do.
But they do have some maps that they're quite good on. I mean, the one that just pops out in my mind is Cash right off the bat, right? It's just it seems to fit their playstyle quite nicely. I think the new pick yesterday was a mistake, even though I don't think they've lost that on that map before. But playing against VP, which
I mean that's what Janko was saying, isn't it? It's a couple of steps ahead in terms of nuke as well.
Exactly, but I definitely could see them pulling off an upset. It all depends on their opponents this event, how they choose to veto. Yeah. If they pull into Vega's strengths here, because they do have some pretty decent players that can shoot heads. So I'm looking at Cash, I'm looking at Inferno. So yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge achievement to make it here from where they've come from as well. You have to remember just how far they've come through those qualifiers. Likewise, there's a team on the other side, of course, Immortals, who are also here as a qualifier. Janko, it seems almost unbelievable that we keep talking about them as a qualifier, and the first time they've ever played at a major as the 5 team. We've got a couple of players in there, of course, that have got some major experience. They're the only 2 in this match who have, but that should help them, really, shouldn't it?
I mean, it should to an extent. I don't really think it matters all that much, because at that time they were just, you know, pieces of the puzzle in Fallen's team, right? When they were Luminosity or Keystars or Kaboom at that time, whatever the name of the team was. But right now, actually, Bolts and Steel are the 2 leaders of this team, and tactically at least, right? Both have been the in-game leaders. Right now it's Bolts again, but I'm sure Steel helps him out, and it's up to them to, you know, kind of pave the way for the rest of the guys coming in who are the impactful, you know, the high explosive trio in Henny, Lucas and KNG. So I really think that it's a different type of a path for them. So I'm not sure. Obviously it helps having experience. I think more than anything else, it helps playing with Fallen back then and in that team in terms of learning a couple of things when it comes to in-game leading and leadership in general. So still, yesterday, Immortals, that overtime game against Astralis, obviously probably the most difficult opponent you could get in the first round. So we still have to see what they have in store for us in this qualifier.
Yeah, overtime obviously yesterday.
Qualifier, major, group stages.
Yes, indeed. Overtime yesterday against Astralis, doing pretty well, and had a shot at winning that game as well. We've talked a little bit about the new boy KNG in the team. We've talked about the other 2 being experienced. The other 2 we haven't really spoken about is the twins. And how do you assess how they've done so far in this team?
I think that, I mean, and N1 for me was supposed to be their star player, right? The big time Opry is going to be like Fallen's little brother essentially, right? When you look at it, just it should be just pure impact. But I feel like for for Henny, it hasn't really shown that much, especially with important games. Yesterday, he didn't really have a good game versus Astralis. Lucas, however, had a really good game. So I just feel like that comes with pressure. That comes with experience. It comes with playing terms like this some more. But I definitely can see Henny stepping up when it actually matters. When it comes to, like, for example, versus this game versus Vega Squadron, I think that Henny's just gonna have a field day, right?
Okay.
Whereas like Lucas, I just see more of like a kind of stable kind of player. Whereas like Henny, you're looking into those kind of star performances.
Yesterday I saw a tweet, and I'm going to butcher this. I know I am, so forgive me. And I can't remember for the life of me who I saw its timeline on, but it was one of the regular CS:GO posters, I'm sure. And he said, "It seems astonishing to me that was it Lurpus?
Yeah.
Twin brothers have no team play between them."
Yeah, it was definitely Lurpus.
I mean, and he's got a point, hasn't he? Because yesterday they were a bit loose at times with some solo plays and steaming into the bomb site without any cover and doing all the things that you just wouldn't expect a team that have got good cohesion and have played together for a while now would do.
Yeah, and that's been an issue for Immortals for a very, very long time, and it mostly stems from having Phelps in the lineup, right? He's that wild card type of a player. You can give him a lot of freedom, but he's always going to do something different, and it's very difficult for the rest of the team to kind of adjust to that, right? That means that what you have to do around him is going to change all the time, and that's inconsistent in its own right, and that makes it difficult to establish team play over a very long time. And for Immortals back then, I mean, it was the way they would win games. It was Phelps and Henny creating those openings or making those picks, and then just the rest of the team working around that. And that's something that's going to get you upset wins. It's going to get you, a deep tournament run every now and then, but you're never going to be a consistent contender in today's CSGO landscape with that type of a playstyle. And I think they are aware of that, and it's something that Immortals have been trying to work on in recent times.
Both teams just getting themselves ready to the lobby, and we will get into the vetoes fairly shortly, no doubt. Let's turn our attention to map choices and how important they'll be. They're important in every match, obviously, but these two teams and the various ways that they look at maps. Janko, how do you feel their depth is right now?
I think it's fairly similar. One thing that goes Vega's way is that the two maps they don't play, Cobble and Overpass, are generally strong maps for Immortals. So in any case, they are going to end up on something that's going to be beneficial for them. I would expect their third veto to be actually Mirage, which is, again, a map that Immortals did veto yesterday, but you would look at it and think, okay, this is a good Immortals map. That being said, Immortals gets rid of Nuke, and at that point, with Cash, Inferno, and Train, depends where they want to take it. You would maybe imagine they don't want to play Train. Hasn't been the best map for them, and also if they pick it, Vega gets to start the CT. So probably something between Inferno and Cash. For Vega, I think Inferno would be more beneficial because what we've seen from them in terms of how they approach the map at the major qualifier, some aggression on the CT side, I think that's something that maybe can catch Immortals a little bit off guard and could give Vega upset potential with a strong start.
Are you surprised at all, Robin, with the map pool that we've seen so far?
Not necessarily. I think that with the new veto system, I think, we don't have the randomizer anymore, right? So you're definitely going to
unless you're G2.
Unless you're G2. I mean, you can go that route as well. You put the faith into the coin. No, but not necessarily. I think that especially for this matchup right here that Janko was touching on, I think that actually just looking at veto, I think Vega Squadron has a chance here, because if you look at their best maps, these are maps that you're going to be playing here today versus Immortals, and we're talking about like Cash, Inferno, possibly even Train. Yeah, if I was Vega, I would be more than happy to have either come into this game with either Inferno or Cash.
I think Vega wants Inferno, and Immortals probably want to go for Cash there, because yes, Cash, Vega has 3 wins on it, but those are all from the CIS minor, and a couple of them have been very, very close games.
Okay, actually, Nuke and Cash are banned.
They veto Cash themselves. Nuke is a standard one, that's no surprise, but I guess the Cash ban is probably them wanting to veto between that and Inferno. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe they want to float Mirage as well.
Let's see where Vega go. They've banned Cobble and Overpass so far.
Those are the 2 standard ones. So this is where I would expect them to veto Mirage.
Do you think so, or do you feel like maybe they want to? Because they played it an awful lot in the past, and they were good online with it. I know they didn't necessarily back that up with some land play, but they've seemingly done well on it. I mean, I take your point. I think Immortals, they'll look at it and think, maybe we don't want to play them on that map.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that Vega has better chances on the maps that would be left in the pool, right? The train
Inferno.
and Inferno mostly.
Yeah, our Nuke was not first.
They're
What
thinking
else
about
maps
it
do we
very.
have left?
This is like
We have
maybe
Mirage left?
caught them a little bit
Mirage,
off guard.
Train and Inferno. are the
Maybe
last
they were
three.
expecting Immortals to veto Mirage already. But yeah, it's they are putting a lot of thought into it.
Yeah.
It seems like I'm not really sure why, because with the 3 maps still in the pool.
Oh, so they've gone for the Inferno ban in the hope, I guess, that Immortals pick Mirage, but there's Train in there.
There's Train there as well.
Mm.
I think for like both
Yeah,
of those maps.
So Immortals are going to pick Train.
Yeah. This is a tricky one because, as I said, you would maybe expect them to stay away from this map because that gives Vega the chance to start on the CT side.
Yep.
And Vega did have some success at the major qualifier on the map, obviously beating Optic Gaming, right? Who were in a underperformed at the tournament,
Yep.
but you could see that Vega was comfortable playing the map at least. So
Yeah. I mean, the 2 games that they played on Train, they were pushing the inner bomb site. I remember ferociously in the first 7 or 8 rounds, really putting a huge amount of pressure until they got kind of figured out.
yeah, this is for Immortals on the other side of things. A map they didn't really play it all that much. 2 times at Cologne, losing to Cloud9 and losing to Liquid in overtime. So some close games. You do maybe feel that what Vega was doing on their T side can be countered to an extent. For example, Mir either goes Ivy and lurks there, and that was where he had a lot of impact against Optic, or he's like towards the upper ramp when they go for a B execute, and that's pretty much it. And he was the main reason why Vega was able to have a strong T side against Optic. So maybe Immortals are feeling if they can shut him down, it's not going to be too big of a problem for them to beat Vega on the map.
Final words being exchanged in the Immortals team. You'll no doubt hear a shout. I don't know if we can hear it from here. We're quite away from where the players are playing, but they are quite loud as well. So maybe we will hear it as they get ready for the start of the game. Robin, your final thoughts on this matchup? Do you feel like this is a stretch for Vega and maybe Immortals just come in and crush?
I mean, I definitely could see an upset here for Vega, mainly because it's Train. You never know. But I also feel like maps like Train, like Cobble, are really meant for a little bit more strategical teams,
Right.
teams with more depth, with more individual players, because you can work more with that, right? And as Janko was saying as well, if you do have a good idea on what Vega likes to do on their T side, with the individual players in mind, Immortals are definitely favorites here.
In any case, Vega should try and play the way they played Inferno against Dignitas in that deciding game to qualify for the major, right? No fear, just try to be aggressive, try to disrupt their play, because that's something that Immortals probably are not going to expect that much. They know they're playing an underdog, they maybe expect them to be a little bit scared of them, right? So you can't play in such a manner if you wish to achieve anything. So even though I disagree with the pick a little bit, I think it's more about the way they approach the game in itself than it is on which map they're going to play.
I'm just going to throw a little something in there. Do you think Vega might just decide to start T?
It's not impossible because, as an underdog team, you maybe have a clear plan on the T side and want to go for it. But I think on a map like Train, that they're not going to gamble with that.
I would have definitely preferred just for them to pick CT side and play very aggressive early on in the half.
And also because Immortals aren't a super structured team, right? You wouldn't expect them to have a lot of things on their T side. It's going to be mostly individually based, and that's something that's easier for you to play against on the CT side than playing against a team who's super methodical, very good at like taking Ivy control, and so forth, having strong B execute. So I think Vega most likely is going to stay on the CT side.
Of course, we haven't even discussed the fact that Immortals will have no doubt studied them as well and will have looked at those games that they played in the offline qualifiers and in the minors on this map.
Yeah, of course. That's why I was saying, like, when Vega is on the T side, a lot of it depends on Mir having impact from that Ivy position. The same thing goes for Vega, as we said about Immortals. You don't expect them to have a lot of things to work with on that T side. And when you're Immortals, when you're the favorite, especially with such explosive players in the lineup, a potent double AWP setup, they are in danger of getting picked apart by the aggressive play of Immortals. So from Vega, you want to see something similar to what Penta was doing at the major qualifiers. Execute heavy play style, perhaps put a lot of pressure on that B bomb site early on, which is going to force rotations later on in the half, and then exploit that outer bomb site and put Mir into play from Ivy.
That's interesting, isn't it? The Immortals team, they stood there for quite some time chatting away with each other. You never quite know what they're saying to each other, but we've heard from Lucas a couple of times that they're literally just trying to G themselves up, they're trying to motivate themselves, and then they give out this loud roar, and then suddenly on the other side of the curtain, Vega go, do you know what? We should all just gather round, guys. We should do that now.
Talk about
it's
something.
Like as if they couldn't do it in the same time. So no, we're going to wait for them to be done.
No, I literally think they just realized,
no.
hey, is this when we're supposed to go up and have a huddle? All right.
No,
they just shouted.
No,
we should go.
This is the thing where it's like we are not going to sit around and wait for them to be done. They're going to be the ones waiting for us.
We used to do that as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you really?
We did.
Just want to get into your
No,
opponent's
because
head
there were plenty of teams that used to do that, right? Mainly because like you were all ready, you were talking about it, and then you were at the end of the huddle you were screaming, you were like, oh, let's go, and it's like, sorry guys, give it another minute or two. It's like, god damn it, come on. I'm just waiting. I just want to play Counter-Strike now.
All right, like, let's see if it works. Right, you ready? We're going to virtual huddle. Ready?
What are we doing?
Right, okay, guys, we've got this. It's all good. Okay, we're good. 1, 2, 3. Yes. See this rubbish. We're terrible at it. I tell you what, I bet these two are much better at it. James and DDK are in the commentary box right now. Guys, you could do better, right?
James can't do anything better than
we
me.
deserve that, guys. We definitely.
I had no idea what we were going for, Paul. You're like, let's have a huddle. And then
you're supposed to be an expert at this. You've done it before.
You never say yes, Paul. You always say something, go for some profanity.
Oh, right. Well, we can't do that.
Exactly. So that's why I was silent.
James can.
Yeah, Janko, you need to take them to a basketball game in Serbia and show them what proper chanting is and all that kind of
that sounds like fun.
Volume and action. It looks pretty crazy, the videos he's shown us. But basketball aside, it's Counter-Strike time. We're going
It is, Jen. So please take us into the game.
Thank you very much, Paul. So indeed, train is coming up between these two teams. Vega Squadron, I think it's reasonable to say that they've got nothing to lose coming into this major. Would you think that's a fair statement?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just to see some of the fearlessness that we saw, as noted by Janko on the desk there against Dintas, to allow them to get into this position where they are actually at the major, they can show that level of commitment, just as Paul showed quite the commitment there to his little, I don't know, this victory.
He was all in. It was an all-in play.
Yeah, I was pretty. I mean,
the chips were over the line.
I'll give him that. Yeah, exactly. I'll give him that. So, yeah, I think Vega, from that perspective, it's very hard for teams to necessarily have a lot of understanding how to play against them. But at the same time, if you are a team like Immortals, you've got experience in these kinds of situations. I think every top-level team understands the best way to approach an underdog-type team where you don't know necessarily all the information about how they play. And generally, it's just relying on the fundamentals. You don't have to take any risks. You can just rely on having, again, better fundamental Counter-Strike, more individual skill, allow them to make the mistakes, and then you punish them, and then you win the match, and then boom, you're done. That's usually how you want to go with this.
I think this particular matchup here is interesting for Vega Squadron, and I'm very curious to see how they will perform once things begin for them. I think this is there's an opportunity for them, definitely. Going into a lot of matches here, I think they're going to be an underdog almost all the time, if not all the time. But I think this might be one. Immortals, we've seen their own struggles as well, trying to get into the major to begin with. So maybe those struggles will continue in this match. We will soon find out. On train. Match number 4 today. Many more matches to come. Vega Squadron with the shark logo.
It's hard to get a good map or really find a map where I think you can have an edge against a team like Immortals. Again, just generally due to the fact that they're a really strong team at the moment, and they've been preparing very heavily, and the map pool has been getting better and better, and we are about to kick things off here between Immortals and Vega Squadron. Immortals on the T side, which I think is going to be a lot of fun, seeing how they try to open up the map when they get the money rolling, but that's the question. Who will get the money rolling first? We have the pistol round to find out.
2 CTs moving over towards the pop dog position. Steel will pop in and pop out. Very brief indeed. Bombs got headed towards Ivy. could be a split towards the A site, and it seems that's quite likely. Flashbang being very careful, meticulous, moving into the site, around the bomb train now, and so is Mir. He's good for one, but he'll get taken down pretty quickly. Headshots continue to fly in though, JR taking some down, and the CTs are reining in the kills now, leaving Henny alone versus 4, and he won't last very long. Hutchie with another kill in that round to finish things off. 2 quick kills for him. And there goes the pistol. Good start for Vega.
Yeah, and you really like to see that when you're on that CT side, able to get those AWPs in a timely manner. However, of course, with no bomb plant, we're going to see a force buy from Immortals, and Vega Squadron are going to understand that as well. And it's interesting to see, which way teams go with this on the CT perspective, because some CT sides are thinking, okay, we'll get, some more rifles, we'll try to play those longer ranges, we'll expect some of those smokes to go down, we'll wait for the smokes, we'll get the retake in. Or you can go for this approach, play closer ranges with the UMPs, you've got more utility to fight back against the execution of the Ts, whatever it may be. And we can see that they're not going to have any grenades because they didn't get that bomb down. So Vega Squadron do have a lot of advantages to play with, but you never know in CSGO, and Kianji definitely didn't know what hit him there. That's a lot of damage from that nade. One of the only players without any Kevlar, unfortunately.
There's time for Immortals though, and they are all still alive. How do they get the... Well, I mean, looking at the setup on B, I think that's probably their best opportunity to get the bomb down.
There you go.
And they might not win the round, but we'll see. I think Vega Squadron are prepared to allow that to happen, but as you saw that Deagle shot come in, Vega Squadron may have to uncomfortably give up a bit more. But maybe let's give them a read that a push could come into A. Not sure what exactly might be going on in Vega Squadron, rotating back and forth. Mir now making his way through CT spawn back into the B bomb site. So it's a 2-2 setup, and JR's getting quite tagged, so problems may be compounded here for the CT side.
It's a really nice play from Immortals, but they are definitely having some trouble now that the UMPs are getting to work on them. However, great damage was done by bolts previously, leaving JR so low in the yard that maybe there's an opportunity in this 2 versus 2. And he does not have any Kevlar and only a P250, but they should be able to close this one down here. Immortals with a real chance to win this round now as Hutchie closes in, but he's going to get closed down as Henny will bring the P250 to bear there, and Immortals stealing away a round off of the force buy. Very sad stuff for Vega Squadron. Again, it can always happen. Really nice opening Deagle frag that we saw onto Kashanda. And now Vega Squadron have to go for the force buy. So the battle of the force buys begins. But will it be one that ends soon or not? It's always fun when you see, 2 teams just having to force buy it, and just you have that battle that just rages on across like 5 rounds. But
so let's see, Vega Squadron. One player picked off already. Got Kashanda around the E-box, but he's not going to get anything done with the CZ on this occasion, and the round is all but over at this point. Chopper in CT has all the guns trained on him, so he will reset the situation and try to get what little he can out of this. 5.7, a powerful pistol. May have been spotted, Chopper. He'll still land 1 kill at the very least. Trying to pepper bolts. Bolt's got to be careful. He'll do the job. Some crouching at the end to make life even more difficult for Vega Squadron. So now it is eco territory for the CT side. A good start, but not a great continuation for them. But there are still buy rounds to come. So, Dan, for those of us on Go TV, who should they be watching?
it's a really tough one when it comes to Immortals. I mean, bolts the IGL, very hard hitter, but I think you're probably going to be thinking about Kianji in a lot of these spots. Very aggressive, has an insane amount of confidence, which is great. And as soon as he brings the AWP into play, it's going to be very fun to watch him get going. So I would probably select him.
Okay, I would. I'm going to pick. I'm not sure whether to pick Mir or JR for Vega Squadron. Those would be one of my choices. I'm going to go with JR. I don't know. I can't pick. Okay, Mir and JR. Switch between them on the CT side. I can't pick. I can't decide which one I want to watch.
Get a second PC. Yeah. Get the game out on your phone.
Get the 2 PCs, man. I remember when I was trying to get Dragon Lore so hard. I had 10 CSGO accounts. I was just like loading up all kinds of PCs, phones, everything with different. So now I just have like 9 redundant CSGO accounts. But enough about me. It is time for the buy from both teams. 3-1 in favor of Immortals. Both teams on the buy. JR with the sole AWP. Might be fun to watch in this one.
Yeah, we see a lot of alley pressure coming in from Immortals early into the rounds. GR the one to be the challenger potentially, although we'll have smokes to begin with, which will certainly hamper any visibility for either side, using the, or rather checking the gap in the smoke. And boltz, he's made his way quickly to what the people affectionately call Olafmeister. That's a very fast position out of teammate. Going for a pick-off though. It's looking great here for Vega initially. Kashana with another one is now, it looks like Immortals committed into the play, out of alley, looking for more kills, but still a really good defense. We see Vega just sort of just collapsing back into the bomb train, using the team play very effectively so far.
Another shot there from JR. 2 versus 1 doable for KNG. That's a very nice fast headshot onto Chopper. Moving up the ladder quietly now. Spots JR, but JR quick on the trigger finger. An expensive round, but a successful round nonetheless for Vega Squadron. We'll see what Immortals' approach is. I mean, Immortals, you can see in the bottom right, they've got bags of cash. So despite Vega Squadron winning the round, they're going to have a worse buy. The UMP's coming out on 2 players, Kashanda on the MP7. So these are very dangerous waters for the Sharks of Vega Squadron. May get hit by the propellers of Immortals speeding past with these AKs. 3-2. Very tricky round indeed for Vega. Do they go aggressive? Do they try and make a push into A main or something like this? They need to get an early advantage.
And we get a lot of pressure once again now into the B side of the map. Oh, Steel going straight out there. What a beautiful timing found by Steel. Able to create a hole in the defense here. Eventually does get traded as he continues the aggression, but again, he's punctured the B bomb site, allows his teammates to follow suit, get in there with that bomb soon perhaps, as it is now being ferried over. JR looking down the long channels here will find himself a first opener. And this is really important because he's going to create so much space for his teammates as he creeps forwards, but surely they're aware of this. GR very fast now. Very nice shot there, straight to the face of Lucas, but the bomb did go down.
Oh, tagging Henny through the corner of the door, and he's going back for more. He knows he's tagged him, coming out with a pistol, and Henny maybe expecting that someone else will peek. Ends up going down for free, leaving boltz on the high ground. Smokes are on the bomb. They may touch it, but there's 2 men to try and defend things here. boltz, can he find himself an angle? He's looking for people apart from the diffuser, and it will be diffused in the smoke. The round has been successful for Vega Squadron. Somehow, that is a hero play from them again. They would have been in so much trouble if they'd lost that round, and the odds were stacked against them, but they made it work. Steel charging into the B bomb site. He picks 1 player off, gets the molly out, because very common it's that the CTs will have only 1 person in the B bomb site. Doesn't expect the second one there. But JR, a massive play from him to bring his team back into it.
Yeah, and it's really interesting too, just seeing the focus there from Henny, despite the flames being down. JR had just killed one of his teammates there, so perhaps maybe a miscommunication or an oversight, but whatever it was a round for Vega Squadron, and they tie things up indeed. But the money's still flowing here for Immortals to have a full buy, and we'll see Steel picking up a kill as an aggression comes in from Chopper there towards the inner bomb site. And that's, I mean, that is such a fantastic position. Aim pick-off again here for Immortals. That is 2 men down right at the start of the round. You can't really ask for anything more than that for the beginning of your T round.
Difficult times again for Vega. 2 of their 3 players in the A site. You can see they're trying to make a difference. Now boltz exposed. Only the flashbang going downstairs, so next to no damage in response, but still man advantages for Immortals. Henny with a great angle and the Molotov, forcing Hutchie into the open and taking him down like an innocent partridge, trying to escape. Shadow spotted by Henny, but he misses a shot. It's a 2-on-4, however. He's got the numbers game. He'll be low on the ladder while his teammate is high, and that will be a free kill onto Kashanda. Just too many opponents. Mere 1,600 in the bank. Vega Squadron about to get that reset button pressed by Immortals. And there it is. The last kill from Henny. Immortals in the lead once again.
Very back and forth affair. I like the fight that we're seeing out of Vega Squadron. Obviously, when you lose to that force buy in the second round, it's really, really tough to deal with, honestly. But they managed to get the momentum back fairly swiftly after only conceding 3 rounds in a row. And now it's obviously looking really interesting as far as the money is concerned. Immortals straight back into it. We get 4 HEs here for Vega Squadron. But is it going to be able to do much? Looks like they can't even really get much of a connection at all. And everybody is just going down to these AWPs. Mir finding one, but does get tagged as well. Oh wow, another kill coming in from Mir. Maybe more damage to be had here for him as he is still firing off with this deagle, but eventually he is shot down. And that's another round there for the Immortals side.
Error.
Well then, well then. 5-3, and if you're Vega Squadron, the money absolutely sucks. And the problem with this is every round Immortals win compounds the problem for Vega Squadron, where if they win one round, Immortals are going to have the money to buy straight back again. And as we've seen in the previous round, if Vega Squadron win their round, but they win with 1-2 people surviving, it's going to be hard for them to get that consecutive round, which gives them a thin layer of comfort. Lucas jumping into a bullet there. I think it was him. Maybe it wasn't. Who knows? Either way, business looks good for Immortals, of course, as I say that. The scout kill comes in from Kashanda. Opportunity knocks for Immortals. Lucas has been tagged down to 30 already. 2 AWPs versus a pistol and a mobile scout. This could be awkward for the Brazilians.
Yeah, and already, I mean, if let's say everything collapses from this point, they've done an amazing job so far to get so much damage in these rounds in which you would expect Immortals, where they would be counting on getting some clean rounds so they can build that money. But great pressure from Vega Squadron. Chopper still trying to get something done with the scout. Eventually will be taken out, but as mentioned, you know, just a couple kills in the previous round with that deagle, a couple kills here. It really adds up in just hampering the economy and its growth for Immortals. So we'll see whether if Vega can actually capitalize on that previous damage now that they get their buy into play again. We have the AWP out, and JR is, of course, very dangerous. With that, we've already seen some of the work that he is capable of. Now, the question really is, you know, where Immortals want to go, how they want to mix things up, because there's such a variety of strategies left for them to use. They have quite the playbook on train. See, the double AWP, of course, is very scary. kylar and Henny both very aggressive. Henny looking for a forward play, using the cover of smokes here to get himself out there a little bit deeper than perhaps normal. At the same time, we've got kylar working towards inner.
This position from kylar is quite useful when the Ts throw a smoke towards connector, because sometimes it can bait a CT to get up on there in the first place, since their vision has been obscured elsewhere. JR, he was over towards Ivy, maybe had a look towards main, and he was punished for that by Henny, who's holding down main on his own. 2 Ts above Pop Dog and 2 around the B bomb site, so not exactly sure where Immortals may be headed. They've still got a minute on the clock with which to bring the ruckus, as Wu-Tang would say. Mir at the back of B, maybe going towards the spindles, and Chopper's ahead of him. Could throw a flash for his teammate if he had one, but he doesn't. In fact, Chopper's the only one with a flash. Taking down the bomb carrier. Henny's creeping. No, creeping. Misses the shot. Tries to reposition, but he can't get another shot off in time.
Big play from Chopper there. And so far it's 2. Can he get anything else? It looks like Kashanda is going to start to create some distraction there. Chopper will go down to kylar, but indeed Kashanda gets the job done from the flank, but still 2 more players left to find. And it's going to be a tough one. He's down to 21 health, of course, and these Ts are spread out all over the place. It's very hard to predict where they're going to be coming from. And, of course, they have very good information of the 2 areas where Kashanda can come from. So he's having really to assess it. Is this doable in the slightest? And I think he's come to the logical conclusion that with 21 health and with his opponents knowing where he is, it's really too much of a tall order, and he will back away safely with the AWP. Hopefully he does not. Yeah, he should be fine.
It's got no kit either. There could have been a really big change in that round, though, because if you remember when Chopper was alive in the upper area, the Ts threw a Molotov after he killed Henny. They threw a Molotov at Chopper in the upper position, but he was ahead of the Molotov as the bomb was being planted. So he could have run out and stopped it, because I mean, he doesn't know if someone's facing or not, but I guess it's 50-50, but he chose not to peek. If he stops the bomb from going down there, then the round may change, but decisions were made, and it goes the way of Immortals.
And that's I love that we got to capture that moment there, just the AWP battle between Henny and JR, because of course that's one of the scary things about Immortals, because you not only have to try to out-AWP and out-duel Henny, you also have to worry about kylar as well. Of course, we saw both AWPers respectively working the A side of the map and the B side of the map. So JR unable to best Henny in this instance, and we can see the repercussions here. They're pretty severe. Obviously, Vega Squadron in a pretty awful place, economically speaking, and Immortals are on 7 rounds now, so they're starting to look really good in this first half.
Yeah, and I have been critical of Immortals' approach with 2 AWPs in general. Train is probably the best map to do that, and the most reasonable one, and I think against a weaker opponent it's going to be more effective as well, because it can hamper your executions, because you're going to be relying on those picks, but obviously against a weaker opponent you're going to be more likely to get those picks. We've seen Steel just running out into the B bomb site and having success there. Where is Mir? He is come to listen to the music in the lobby area, and he will see 3 players perhaps towards Ivy, but no, he won't. He's going straight towards main. He'll see Henny. Doesn't need to take him out immediately. He's very careful though. Nice crouch makes the deagle slightly more accurate. But where's everybody else? He's got minimal information at the moment.
Okay, this is really weird. Imagine how confusing that is for Henny and how they have to interpret that. Obviously, they had a player over towards that position, but now the Immortals just have to commit in through the alley position with the AWP out on Mirror, so already doing additional damage. Oh, they're all just clustering up there through alley, and Lucas will get the kill onto Hutchie, but all the information is there for the CTs. There's 40 seconds left to get the bomb into the site, and Steel is so important here. He's got to create distraction, open things up, because right now his teammates are committed to alley, but they can't easily escape unless Steel can draw some fire here, get some pickoffs. And then his teammates can start to progress to the bomb train. And there is not much time left, just a mere 25 seconds as JR is looking for a player. And there it is, he'll spot Lucas going for the peak steal. That was what they needed, and now the bomb can go down.
15 seconds for that bomb to go down. And it's almost a CT crossfire, but they don't have the all-important IV position. Kashanda popping out from pop. 10 HP now, it's going to make it really hard for him to peek, and Steel with the pre-fire will do the job. Chopper close to the site, got a teammate around the connected position with the AWP, but can he land the shot? The aim punch will save Steel, and that is a wipeout. Nothing saved for Vega Squadron going into the future rounds.
And Steel should have a cape right now, James, because he just swooped in like Superman, saved the day. Because that was like, you get a guy just creeping through the white holes and just putting a deagle in Henny's back. Everyone's stuck at alley. You've given them an AWP. That is a hard situation to deal with, and I think a lot of teams just fall apart in that spot. Like, how do you assess the situation? It's so chaotic. There's not much time, but still, again, bailing him out the previous IGL. It's now boltz, of course, as mentioned, and we'll see Steel working towards the inner position as his teammates play very passively towards the other areas of the map. Ali very passive as well as the team in area. In fact, no one is remotely near team main at the moment. So Immortals perhaps predicting aggression, but it's not to be just yet.
Yeah, change of pace from the Brazilians after all the madness that Steel has been pulling a lot of it over towards the B bomb site. And that might keep Vega Squadron entertained there with 2 players as opposed to the 1 as you often see, which, if Immortals want to go towards A, will make life easier for them in that direction. KNG looking towards the B bomb site. And again, they've got 2 AWP, so with 50 seconds left, it'll be interesting how they approach the site now that they've chosen to have a slow approach. You can see Henny's lining up some grenades with his teammates, so we may see a wall of smoke, but Kashanda's in a forward position. Will he choose to back off behind the smoke and play with his teammates, or will he stay there in isolation? It might be a one and done spot too if he's lucky. He hasn't moved an inch, but surely his silence is exposing his position from there as well. Steel, though, hasn't noticed anything just yet, and out he comes. No kills for Kashanda.
And the rest of his teammates are stuck behind smoke. Touchy will hear the plant attempt, but he is being the victim of bullets from all over the place as Lucas just darts through the smoke there, aggressively finding multiple kills, leaving it just down to Mir and Chopper, but sorely out of position. Despite this, Mir will pick up a kill, but we can see that Immortals, after getting the bomb down, have sort of fallen back, taken superior positions, and boltz. Great couple kills from him there to finish off the round, and that's one more to add to the tally here for a very, very good scoreline here for Immortals, 9-3.
Yeah, I do wonder if Vega have a prepared response for that, because it's, you know, if you're going to leave one CT by E-Box on his own in front of a wall of smoke, when you're going to be facing, you know that if it's an A execute, you're going to have a number of people there. If it's not, you got info. But if it is, he's going to die, right? Unless he has the round of his life. So how many is he likely to get? How many is it worth him dying for to kill? It's got to be a minimum of 2. But
did we see
they didn't seem to have much response
from
to that.
Vega to help him out?
I didn't notice any, but I can't say for sure if they were from the back, but didn't seem that way.
Yeah, it felt like there wasn't, but sometimes you have to be looking for that, because there's so many things happening. You have to be looking specifically for one of those flashbangs to come in, but it would have a perfectly timed flashbang would have really made some difference there for him, that's for sure. But indeed, this 9-3 scoreline is intimidating at this point. kyangji with the AWP from Team Aim looking to make this anti-eco a bit easier. It's going to be Henny, though, working from Pop Dog. How oppressive it must be when you've got both kyangji and Henny's working those ults from 2 sides. Another nice Deagle shot to be featured, but it's small consolation in the face of yet another round won by Immortals, and in such a convincing manner as well.
Yeah, Vega Squadron is the draw you want at the moment in this stage of the tournament. 10-3. Vega winning the pistol, but losing the force buy immediately afterwards. On the buy once again, JR on the AWP. In the few rounds they've won, we've seen he's been important. Henny out immediately, exposed to the high ground, but straight in the face, and it's JR he takes down. And again, we've seen JR, he's made some power plays to win some of the few rounds Vega Squadron have got, so for him to go down immediately, that's not a good sign. Hutji with an aggressive response. Good timing. Henny fires the shot, leaves him exposed, and he will be exposed. Vega Squadron now in the lead.
Plenty of time, though, to try to work something back here, and kyangji might just find a good timing indeed. With that AWP. Looking to go for the peak. Kashanda's got to be careful here. Molotov tossed out, though, and smoke found for cover there to keep Kashanda safe for the time being. However, how long will that last? We do have Lucas coming in from Ali, so he's one of the most important players here to try to create something, and they can really go 2 ways with it. Either initiate out of Pop Dog first, or Lucas can initiate first, because it's going to be harder for the guys to get out of Pop Dog. Looks like they'll do it simultaneously, however, and see what they can find. Lucas soon to have an engagement, spots ahead, but it's his head to be set to roll on the train yard as we get a trade coming in now. Steel and kyangji with 30 seconds to try to salvage this.
It's an important pick onto Kashanda, and it might just help them get the bomb planted, but Mir is rotating towards Ivy. KNG is going to get taken down from the back. Stereo kills from Vega Squadron, no plant for Immortals. And finally, Vega are back on the scoreboard, but how far can they take it? We'll see how they spread the wealth on their team. The rifles are coming out, so indeed, the round after they win a round, they have a better buy than we've seen previously.
So 4 rounds. A hard-fought 4 rounds. They did, of course, win the pistol, but they did lose to a force bite. So it hasn't been an easy road at all in any sense. And we get a very fast round here from Immortals straight into the train yard of A. And it will be met with quite some violence there. Hutji takes one, but Steel pushes so far, so fast and so hard there into the deep positions. Able to pick up 2 frags, but in the chaos, you can barely even commentate this. Everyone's just dying all over the place.
It's like a pistol round on fast forward.
And that's the 5th round for Vega Squadron. They'll be happy with that one. That is, you know, something you can work with. But it's still very, very tough, isn't it?
That round was just a blur.
I know, right? I was trying to paint a picture. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. Everyone's dying. Everyone's fighting. It was a brawl. It was like a pub brawl.
Well, maybe the worst is over for Vega Squadron, because they were quite overwhelmed in a number of rounds, be them fast or slow, on their defensive half. But now it's their turn to try and set the pace. And we have the glowing hair of Sapphire. She is our observer for the second half of today's matches, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it the first half? I think it's the first half, actually. Maybe this is our last game. Anyway, 5-10. Vega Squadron have it all to do. It's an important pistol round for them. 3 players on the Kevlar. Mir's gone for the Deagle. And there are some nice narrow angles.
Oh, no.
Blockerino. Oh dear, that's not a good start.
Oh, that feels bad, doesn't it? That feels bad. We've all been there. We've all been there. That was all so horrible.
That reminds me, I mentioned it once before, of some guy from a group of friends who was like a silver or something, made a highlight video. And he's like blocking his teammate and does 2 doors. And his teammate dies and he goes and kills the guy. And that's like part of his highlight video. It's unreal.
That is amazing. Well, it's pushed now into the bomb site here. Well, kylar has something to say about that. That's going to be 3 kills for him so far. And now, I mean, it started very poorly for Vega Squadron. A bit of misfortune, mistiming. But now it's the round that has been missed as it's Immortals who claim the pistol. And all the pressure is on Vega to do what Immortals did and to win the force buy that is now to come. Here it is. I like that we get this from kylar's perspective. He's just like, what's happening right now?
I wonder if he shot his teammate. Because it was me who had the deagle as well.
Yeah, because you're taking that shot with that eagle. Like, you are definitely... I'm taking that shot through my teammate for sure.
If you land a headshot, even for your teammate, it's going to be a kill, but opportunities have come and gone. Mir on the deagle once again. Kevlar, no helmet. Almost all the Immortals players on the rifles, and it's JR who's going to get the first eagle kill. Will it be the last one though? Aim punch will be a problem for him, down to 10 HP now. But Lucas, he's been picked off, but KNG putting things back in the favour of his side. We've got one player towards electric box, but there's enough range, I would say. So you can always be surprised by the Tech 9, but not today. Henny with the UMP will take care of Kashanda, and it was Chopper left alone. But perhaps he will be on the board. Indeed he will be. So that's a good run for Immortals. They'll be happy with that. All good in the hood.
Yeah, and I think this match, so far we're seeing a lot of comfort here and there from Immortals, but Vega Squadron have given them quite some difficult rounds, to be honest. Like, they've really fought convincingly in the rounds in which they've made close, in the rounds in which they've won, of course. So, but I feel like this scoreline, if it continues this way, it may look a lot more dominant than it necessarily was. And that's just how CSGO is from time to time. And look at Lucas just going straight up the stairs. The MP9 having a field day. 3 quick kills for him. Pulls out the pistol, looks for the ace. He will be denied by JR, but it's Bolts to pick up the pieces of JR. He has no interest in this. He's just going to go and do a runner. He's left the bomb behind. He's like, I don't, please let me live. Let me survive.
Hunger Games. He died. He died. Okay. 13-5. Does not look good at present. I think it's reasonable to say for the Vega Squadron, but it's buy time. They've got their AKs out. They've got grenades. It is time, if they have something to offer. See what they can do. The bomb outside main at the moment. Looks like it might be landing up a grenade or just holding an angle, so can't read into any potential intentions for the time being. The CT's taking presence close to main. It might even be a push here from the CT side. They're not going to wait around. They want to take the game away from Vega Squadron. They overwhelm them in the first half, and they look to do the same in the second. They know they are the stronger team, the superior team, and they want to impose their will on Vega Squadron.
I think they're just going to go for the set piece with smokes on A, I think. But it's so dangerous because look at Henny's position. I don't think you can't really do it until you clear this space. I mean, with the forward smoke there, now you can't really safely run out of T main. So Henny will give up the position though, so now it's okay. But still, it is scary.
Yeah, but maybe that gives them an extra man, because how do they even push in the main area with that going on? Being very careful, and JR's the closest one. He doesn't want to lose the bomb. See, Chopper's made his way in there as well, and nobody's watching Ivy position. Mir gets a kill for free. What is going on? Where's the communication? How's this happened for Immortals? Mir with 2 kills, and now it's going to be absolute bedlam. T's coming in from everywhere. How has this happened to Immortals? Had a hard read on Popdog and main. I think a smoke was done on Ivy, but it's not a brick wall. Vega Squadron going through it. Mir making a hero play, taking a gamble, and it pays off. the house has been defeated for this round.
Yeah, it's definitely what you would describe as a mistake there from Immortals, just having, like, because one thing, you know, having somebody watching it and losing the 1 versus 1, then there's time to react at the very least for the player that supports on the green train, but of course, you know, we're in a situation there where he walks out. That's 2 free kills for me. No one's looking. That shouldn't happen for Immortals, definitely speaking. So it's great though. Of course, the Vega Squadron gives them a real chance back into this, because let's look at the situation. They're going to survive with 5 players. Okay, 2 just died to the bomb, James. 2 players just died to the bomb, James.
Mir got sent into orbit then.
James, 2 players just died to the bomb.
Mir was sent in to orbit. Well. Now the question is, well, I mean, I was going to say, can they break the economy and make life really hard? Maybe there's opportunity there. I mean, let's be fair. Immortals took a risk, and it did not go well for them at all. But they are on the buy. They are back on the double AWPs, this time on the CT side. And they were dominating with those in every type of round, almost, in the first half. And I'd be surprised if that did not continue. Look at the aggression from Immortals. Last time towards main, this time towards Ivy. Molotov will force Lucas back, but Vega Squadron will abandon Ivy for the time being as well.
I actually really like the forward smoke there, because, I mean, we can look at it this way. If Vega Squadron wanted to run a fast round, that little play there, which was not even necessarily designed to get a kill, but, you know, a kill would be a bonus, slows them down a lot. And because there's 2 AWPs on Immortals, it gives their AWPers more time to do stuff, to maybe find picks, maybe get angles. So it slows the round down to a position which strengthens Immortals' chances to get to use their advantages.
KNG with a very nice angle. Not sure if he spotted 2 players, but some information for the CT side. Still with a kill on the high ground, moving to the low. They might be looking for him. He's going to make a nuisance of himself, as he did in the first half. Lucas taken down in the meantime. Bomb getting planted. No angle for Steel. He's got nice post-plant positions already, but JR might need to get off the site. The grenade, though, may not allow him. More damage done. He's got 1 HP. 1 HP, Jesus, chipping a chair.
Can he actually do some damage from this position? That would be so outrageous. Steel shuts him down, though, and that's going to be the cue to go in here for the CTs. Immortals need to get onto that bomb very quickly at this point. 2 players left. Kishanda is the only one now by E-Box. Oh, shot through there. And that looks like they know exactly what's up. Kishanda has to play it perfectly, but there's no opportunity to do so. Henny is not playing around, and it will be a defuse coming in from Kianji in a timely manner. Immortals now onto 14. Decent attempt, though, from Vega. They had really nice post-plant positions, but you have to love the patience from Immortals there, because they have so many players alive in that post-plant position. It can be very hard sometimes to coordinate your team to play that situation effectively.
Big damage coming out from these AWPs on the CT side. It's been a good map for the Immortals AWPers, that's for sure, showing their power, their prowess, their proficiency. 2 rounds away are Immortals from a victory in this match. You see some shortcomings now in the buy for Vega Squadron, a Tech 9 only for Kishanda. And Henny is puncturing more balloons towards the B bomb site. 3 players remaining for Vega Squadron, and not much time has passed. The fun police are here, as far as Vega Squadron are concerned. Chopper, not allowed to stand anywhere near T-spawn. The CTs are everywhere.
Yeah, and you can see it's quite the struggle to play up against Immortals, who are happy to take some risks, happy to try and use those double AWPs, playing it patiently at the right times, playing aggressively, when it suits them. And this is a great position from Lucas here, and there's so much to work with in this position, because I was going to say he could just hold that spot, and if they go alley, great, he gets a great engagement. If they go towards A main, his teammates will spot it. He can get a very fast flank in. There's lots to work with there, but decides to go aggressive. Well, it doesn't work out this time. Timing is sometimes your best friend and sometimes your mortal enemy in the game of Counter-Strike. And an interesting 2v2, considering that what we have left for Immortals are the 2 AWPers.
KNG has an angle and he has some info, but he hasn't chosen to strike just yet. I don't know if he saw the second player, but look at his angle. It's absolutely perfect. So hard to plant the bomb when the CTs have vision and possession of the IV area. Mir going for the fake, baiting KNG out. There are 9 seconds remaining, however. KNG don't need no second man, no trade fragger. He's good for the kill himself. And that puts Immortals on match point.
T-side's hard, man. It's hard to play that T-side. Vega Squadron probably feels like they're banging their head against a brick wall at the moment. Let's see what they're up to here. We've got Tech-9s, a bunch of grenades to work with as well, and we'll likely see a rush somewhere. BA, you can of course do, there's good options for the utility and Tech-9s from both perspectives, so see which the choice will be. Looks like it's going to be a quick rush through Pop Dog and T-Main. They're setting up the smokes now. How well can Immortals defend?
A quick one from Vega Squadron, perhaps before Immortals can take the T-map control, but it's a 2-man spray down for Steel. He's got the garden hose out. Henny, oh, what a lovely shot from Henny, and he's good for the second one as well. JR remains versus 5. Immortals are really enjoying themselves in this game, and it's a good boost of confidence going ahead into the next one. But JR, how much can he do? 1 versus 5 for Peter 50, asking too much of him. Immortals dominating Train on both halves, 16-6, absolute spanking from them.
Yeah, definitely, and it really shows you the dynamics and how things change between CT and T side, because once you're on that T side, you're against a team that has so much skill between the Yorpers and the Riflers and the setups and the aggressions they can play, how well they can play off of a post plant. You know, we saw a great CT side from Immortals from that perspective. So you have to be strategically on point, but you also need to be explosive individually. And there is so much demand for all those skill sets that it seemed like a bit too hard there. But we saw on the CT side a lot of potential from Vega Squadron. They were able to hit their shots. We saw some good performances here and there. Of course, they did lose the second round after winning the pistol, which does really hurt. But I think Vega Squadron shouldn't be too demoralized by this.
Yeah, it was somewhat a bully match from Immortals though, so I think it might be some level of demoralization. But just one game a day, can move on and focus on what is to come in the next day. Immortals, very nice match from them, and that's I think that's what we should have expected from that game.
And yeah, especially if you consider that yesterday they played Astralis. It's quite the contrast for them to then be able to be like, okay, playing Astralis, it's kind of hard to run your own game. It's a very drawn out affair. They probably, I mean, they definitely should have thought that they would have been able to win it, because I think there was lots of opportunities there. Then to go into this matchup, we can play our game. It's lovely, I'm sure, for them.
Yeah, thoughts of the desk now with Mr. Redeye.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, James and DDK. We'll come back to them, of course, for the next matchup. But what a performance. We were waiting for a big performance, Robin, from them, and we got one.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I think Immortals here, we were discussing it before, that Train might have been a bad pick here, but no, they played really well. I think that they played really well into Vega's weakness here, and for Vega's sake on their CT side, the biggest thing for me was that they did not manage their economy whatsoever. Just kept on buying pistols when they didn't really have to. There was so many rounds, even on this one, you see the highlights, they have no nade stuff. They have barely any nades to even try and hold off Immortals throughout that whole half. And just Immortals just punished it. Very aggressive play coming in for Immortals. They also had switched up a little bit with a little bit more tactics, but you just work in the picks, and then after I just trying with the executes, and Vega had no answer.
Yeah, it was a good T-side, wasn't it, Yanko, from Immortals?
Yeah, I think a little bit of anti-stratting happened here on the side of Immortals as well. You could see in some of the rounds they felt like Vega Squadron likes to rotate towards the outer bomb site if they see smokes and flashes falling in, so they would just throw a couple of grenades out and then have Steel push up upper ramp by himself. You could see that one round where he got the entry kill and then just pulled his knife out, expecting no one else to be there. Dies to the second player who was in B, but the team still is able to close out the round. So yeah, just pure aggression from Immortals or all around. We were talking about how Vega is supposed to be aggressive on the CT side. They didn't really have a chance to do so because Immortals were always taking the game up to them.
Good performance from Mir, obviously from Vega Squadron, but that was small pickings really for them.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it wasn't nearly enough. They had to do more as a team. Big deal, obviously, is winning pistol round, but then losing the second round. If you're Vega, you need, as an underdog, you need that momentum. You need to have some room to make mistakes and still be able to go into gun rounds, because, as Robin pointed out, their economy really was in tatters for the better part of that first half, and utility is very important on a map like train, you needed to fight early aggression, and you also needed late round, at least to save some of it when if a late round execute comes in, or to have it for a retake on B. And if you are constantly like force buying or half buying and scraping through in buys, you're going to have a much more difficult task on CT side of train.
All right, we'll get more from both of you in a moment, but still, Mr. Lucas Lopez joins us from the match room. Lucas, congrats on that. That's a good win.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. We are so relieved right now. The match like last night against Astralis was super cool.
Yeah.
But thank God we are 1-1 now.
Yeah, no, I was going to talk to you a little bit about the Astralis match as well, because it was a close match. And did you feel like you could have won that at the end? Were you a bit disappointed?
Yeah, we were super disappointed, but I mean, it's Astralis. We knew that we could have won, but like doing a good games against like the actual like major winners, it was okay. But the feeling that we could have won is like it sucks.
Yeah. Did you take from that, though, that you played well against the champions from the previous major, and actually that should serve you quite well going through the rest of this tournament?
Yeah, of course, because our confidence gets a little bit higher because, I mean, it's Astralis. That showed how we play against, like, Vega. Vega's a great team, too. I mean, there's no, like... At least for me, there's no bad team on that major tournament. So, and this show how, like, the game last night against Astralis, like, increased our, like, confidence.
Yeah, you played really well today. I mean, I spoke to you before at the qualifier, and I asked you, what do you say before a game? And you said, we can't tell you because it's too rude. Were the rude words exchanged again today?
Actually, to be honest, no. I think, in my opinion, like our opponents' moms would like hate us for sure.
Okay, that's
so,
all.
That's
all I need to know, Lucas.
Yeah, that's all I need to know.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Yeah, we won't say any more. We've got Fifth Lauren and Yanko alongside you. Gents, have you got any questions?
Yeah, how has your major prep looked like? Is there anything in particular you've been focusing on?
I think we need to focus on our CT still. We already talked about this, that we have two great helpers, but we should be deadly on the CT side, but something's not working, and we do not know why.
I can definitely see that, yeah. I mean, I can definitely see that where you have two great operators and he tends to go a little bit aggressive in KMG.
Yeah, the thing is, we have two super aggressive operators. Maybe because of that, it's not working.
How do you feel that your result at ESL1 Cologne kind of affected your preparation, or you guys just coming into this tournament? Is it something that was a bit of a wake-up call, maybe pointing out some mistakes that you need to focus on, or was it just, yes, this is a big tournament, but the major is the major and we should focus more on that?
Yeah, of course, man. Everyone knows that ESL1 Cologne is a big tournament. But our main focus is right now the major. But ESL1 Cologne, like, it was a super good practice for us because we saw a lot of mistakes that we're not making anymore, because after we were eliminated we keep practicing like a lot, and we watch our demos, our VODs, and talk to each other about what we need to fix. So yeah, ESL Cologne was like super bad for us, but it was good for the preparation for the major.
Good stuff. I know still that when we spoke before a couple of weeks ago, you said to me, look, first goal is get to the major, second goal is make top 8, become a legendary team. Now you're actually at the major. Has that changed at all? Do you sort of think, well, maybe we could get to the semis, maybe we might even get a good draw and go to the final?
I mean, our first thing is go to the playoffs, but it's super hard. But since we get to the playoffs, only God knows what can happen, because we are gonna be so happy that we can play like a lot better, because our main objective is to go to the playoffs and maybe to the semis, and who knows, to the finals.
All right, okay, well, best of luck and congrats on the first win today.
Thank you very much.
A steal from Immortals. They have picked up their first win here at the major at the second attempt. Tough game against Astralis yesterday, but as you heard, the confidence from that game has really taken them forward, Yanko, and rightly so, because they did play well yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, having a very close game against the reigning major champion is going to be very rewarding for you, even though you lose the game eventually. A very close game would have been even better if they won, obviously. But I think Immortals are a team who does need to have that boost of confidence, right? Because their game still is, as we've said, based a lot on their individuals, and those individuals are very aggressive, the likes of Henny, Lucas, KNG, right? So if they are feeling confident, especially the oppers, that's when Immortals can do a lot of damage.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard and show you how it panned out in this particular match. Impressive performances across the board, really, for Immortals, save perhaps Lucas at the bottom on 13. But nevertheless, a good spread of kills, Robin. You always want to see that, don't you? Suggests good team.
Definitely on the T side as well on train. That really comes to show that a team is working well together, and they got a lot of picks. Don't get me wrong. They spread out. The defaults were working. They were working together. Henny also had a really good game, which is something that he, like I was saying before, that he didn't really have that versus Astralis on Overpass. It's nice that he shows up, especially with a player like Henny. You've seen tendencies from before from past tournaments. If he does have a poor early tournament, he tends to kind of disappear throughout, but it's good to see him here as well, actually just stepping up versus Vega.
And on the other side is Janko, as we spoke about earlier, the standout player there was Mir, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, in a situation like this, in a game like this, doesn't really matter all that much. He did what he could, but nowhere near enough to put his team into a competitive position, basically, in this game.
Okay, let's take a look at the MVP of this particular match. It might not be an agreement from everyone, but Bolts has picked up this one. He went 20 for 9, plus 11 on the KD, and 100.7 ADR, the highest of any of the players.
I think he had a really good game, actually.
Hard to pick out, isn't it, when they're all quite close like that, though?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he on the T side, T connector, he did a really good job in just trying to walk out from team mid and just try and get some openings for your team. And I think overall, I think Bolts had a really good performance.
What's a good result for Vega at this major now? Now they're 0-2. Most people at home are just going to look at this team and go, well, they're lucky to get through. They played some teams in transition in the qualifiers. They were lucky to get through the CIS qualifiers because there were 2 spots instead of 1, because there's been that argument as well. Not that I agree with that, by the way, but there has been that conversation about, did they get 2 slots? Why did they get 2 slots? Maybe you could have given another one to Europe. They leave here potentially with 0-3. People are then going to be like, well, see, told you.
I think for Vega it has to be showing some teeth, right? Showing us that they can draw FaZe in the next round, both teams 0-2, right? Yeah. And you certainly don't expect them to beat a team like FaZe, even though they've been underperforming in this tournament, to say the least. But they need to show that they're capable of at least putting up a fight, because we haven't seen that yet in their 2 games. And
I tell you what, you're right about that. But also, would that not be exceptionally unlucky? Virtus Pro, Immortals, and FaZe.
I mean, who could you get?
Yeah,
it is the major.
Those 3 and you go 0-3 is not a surprise, though, is it?
Definitely not. But it is like, if you have a spot at the major, you kind of need to show something for that. Pretty much. I mean, that's what people expect for you, at least.
Sure. I mean, I'd like to see some of the aggression and some of the good stuff that they showed in the offline qualifier, because they were good back then as well. So maybe a little bit of step up in confidence for
different map, perhaps an Inferno or a Cache, rather than these more tactical maps like Nuke and Train might be the name of the game for Vega.
All right, thank you very much, both gentlemen. We're going to take a break now, but we have done our 0-1s from day 1, which means our next set of 4 matches are headed back to the winners' circles. That's right, Big versus Cloud9 was a big match last time they met up at the offline qualifier. It's all going to go down again in round 2 after the break.
Coming up next, Big